All right, here we have the 1958 engine. Serial number 71143. This engine is going into the 57 Speedster, you see here. This is the engine that was purchased by the owner to replace the racing motor that was in this, a Super 90 motor. So this motor, we took it apart. It had a burnt exhaust valve. We fixed the burned exhaust valve, replaced all four actually. The cylinder leakage is down to 2 to 6% all the way across. So it should be a really good, correct motor since it's a 1958. It does have a light and flywheel on it. Everything else is original, just the way it came. Plug wires, fan belts new, oil lines are new, rebuilt carburetors, and we did the fuel pump. So the petcock got done. So the fuel system's new, oil lines in there, top end valve job. It was a very low mileage engine. I estimate the mileage probably 60, 70,000. It was not a high mileage engine. The rockers looked excellent in this thing when we took it apart. And to have cylinders that were original ones, which is pretty nice. So this is going to be going up in here. As you can see, this is very original. Not often I get to see them this original. You can see this overrider bar doesn't quite match up. This car did not originally have overriders and bumpers. So now we're going to take a look at where we'll be putting the motor in tomorrow. I've never seen one this original and clean. Incredibly clean. As a matter of fact, I don't even want to wash it or clean it up. I'm going to leave it just the way it is. Just the way we got it from the estate in the garage where it'd been sitting. We've got a leak going on here. I think it's a wheel cylinder. Could be an axle seal, but we'll look at that tomorrow and pull that off before we start it up. But as you can see, the undercarriage of this car is very, very clean. Matter of fact, we'll verify that transmission number. We will have to verify that transmission number, 75284. And you can see it's a 741 2C stamped on it. But everything you see here is really original. That red is red zinc coating, probably a primer. It got kind of a thin coat when they restored it. It's not real thick. It's very original. But all in the back here, it's all correct. One modification the owner did, the second owner, the third owner put overriders and American bumpers on it. This car was originally delivered as a European car, so it did not have the American version of the bumper overriders and those bumper guards. This muffler that's on this is an original muffler. We've looked this muffler over, and as far as I can tell you, it is original. And according to the story we got on it, this is the exhaust system that was on the car when it was delivered. Original Coney shocks still on this car. We'll go down here and look, but you can barely see a slight bit of damage here and a slight bit of damage underneath there. Other than that, these rocker panels are all excellent. Same over here. But as you can see, that undercoating's just a little thin. It's really thin, actually. We'll come up to the front here. Now you can see why I don't want to pressure wash it or clean it. You can look up in these area here. I haven't seen a lot of these cars that are this immaculate and original. Take a look over on this side. So as you can see, all of the grease is still on this. Seal's leaking on the steering box a little bit. And you can see the rubber those are still there for the shims for the link and kingpins. We'll bleed the brakes tomorrow and take a look at that stuff, see how that all looks. But this front here has never been replaced. You can see the old wax up under there where the detailer missed some wax. No telling how long ago that was done. Got the set of horns, and you'll notice the wiring on this car is in excellent shape too. Now this car did have a small fender bender, and I see maybe where the patch is right here. Howard mentioned something about it. It was hit on this side here, this left front somewhere, and that's what when he got it. I'll lower the car down and we'll take a closer look at the other side, but this nose is all original. I'm supposed to be getting pictures of it when it was on the trailer when he bought it with the damage that was done to it. So hopefully we will get to see that. These wheels, just chrome wheels, probably Brazilian. I didn't see any stampings or markings on them. Really nice. Pirelli Centrados on it. I did forget to mention there's a small scraping on the bottom of this bumper guard here. Chrome's coming off a little bit right there. But Howard said he was the one that chromed everything and did this restoration to this thing before he sold it to the current owner, who since 1986 only logged 1,716 miles on this car. I'll bring it down and show you some stuff on the top side. I'll take a quick look at the paint on this car. It's lacquer, and it's 48 years. This lacquer paint job was put on this car in 1972. Even though it looks like it was done last week. But it's very, very straight. I have not found any chips or dings or dents in it. I'm sure there's one somewhere. Oh, I did see one spot. This is the one spot that I saw. Right here. One little spot. Looks like maybe somebody put some red on it a while back. That was the only mark that I remember seeing on the car. I don't recall seeing any chips or dings in this thing. It is really nice with all original parts still on it. Now we haven't waxed it. We haven't even washed it. We just sort of dusted it off. Yeah, I do not see any flaws in this. Oh, here you can see where the black rubber the seal on this base gasket has sort of discolored that paint a little bit. So you know that rubber's been against that paint job for a long time to have that kind of blackened in the paint. I'm sure that'll sand, polish out. It might even take polishing and take it out. This side here didn't do it. But that's pretty much it. Inside here you can see the wiring loom, how original and clean that is. Now, I don't know if that cutout that you see going on here in the back, I don't remember that before. So whether or not somebody did that to access the fan on the race car or modified for what reason, somebody will be able to tell us the story on that. So tomorrow, we plan to reunite this 58 engine into this 57 Speedster, where it was intended to go many years ago. There's the details you can see. They did a really, really nice job on this car. We had the floor mats out because we replaced the fuel lines down there where the petcock is. I've never seen wood floorboards that perfect. No age cracking, none of that. The interior in this car for 48 years old is incredible. The leather barely shows a little wear from entering and exiting. Matter of fact, you can see there's been time in the passenger seat, not. Driver's seat's got a little bit of indentation. You see the scutcheons on the door handle over there are cracked on the bottom. Beginning to crack here a little bit. And you can see the dash knobs. Kind of hard with this light. I'm not the greatest photographer, but you can see them cracking. We have the original ignition switch. That's not original. And of course it didn't have an oil pressure gauge, but that was installed at some point. The roll bar in this car has a sticker on it from 1985 SCCA. And the roll bar was installed, I think, the third owner. But it's still in it. It was going to be removed, but we decided to leave everything just the way it was. These rubber floor mats are the original floor mats. When we lifted the front up to do the petcock, I noticed it had canvas glued to the backside to keep it from tearing when you go take it out. Now, you'll be able to see up into there. I can't quite see where I'm going with my camera. Hopefully this video shows how nice and clean and original this fuse and wiring system is. This car has an optional lever there, as well as a turn signal, and that is to, I think that's to honk the horn, and the center button should be to flash the headlights. It could be vice versa. We haven't put a battery in it to find out how that's going to work yet. Oh, actually, that close pretty good for being on the lift. All the rubber mats in this car are really nice. This car spent a lot of its time in Oklahoma, so it doesn't have the Arizona dry that you see out here in the desert on all rubber components. Here you can see the VIN number. Maybe you can see these date code there, 57, I think it's 357.